Hey, what is going on, IK Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we are back giving you guys our next part of going through as the unofficial, official IK filter rep for the game that we're going to be playing today in another cycle of going through all of the suggestions and that have been voted on, and then the closed votes that are actually the ones that have the high amount of upvotes, low amount of downvotes that are going to be sent to the devs, or at least to the point of contacts. And before we get started going through and kind of being your filter oversight guide that your boy is, make sure you guys sub, like, ring the notification bell. Of course, if you want to join and be a part of our conversation, hit up our Discord, which you'll find in the pinned comment and description down below. Okay, so let's start off here with the voting side. Now, the first one we're going to take a look at here is going to be from Dash. And this says, when you unlock new immortals with Philosopher's Stones, it will give you the shards and auto summon the immortal you're getting. So bear in mind, right, if you do not have an immortal unlocked and you pull one from Hall of Immortals, you have a chance at just getting a full 60 shards for an immortal. And that will allow for you to summon, or however many, right, per that element type or the tier type. And then once you get the initial unlock, if you pull it again, right, like let's say I pull a Herald from the Hall of Immortals, the next time I pull Herald, I'll just get 60 of his shards, right, and then those will they don't really automatically, I mean, they kind of do, but the thing is that they're put as shards in the market, so you can always get rid of those and refine those, right, or recycle them back. So it's really only the first time. Now, I don't really know how I feel as far as, like, is this a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I mean, I look at it as if you don't auto unlock, then you can choose to recycle those shards to either invest in market for another immortal, or you can use those to level up a talk skill. But at the end of the day, right, it only ever pop unlocks for you once in Hall of Immortals, where the very first time specifically is where it'll unlock the immortal, but every time after that it'll actually just give you the shards. So I don't really know how much of a quality of life improvement it is. To be fair, it doesn't really hurt anything, right? And if you're choosing to not unlock a certain immortal, or every time you pull that immortal, right, instead of it auto unlocking, it just gives you the shards. To be honest, I don't really see a downside to it. Right, you're really just getting one immortal's worth of shards that you're going to put in somewhere else, right? So again, I don't really see anything bad with it, and I guess if you want to, it could be fine. I kind of feel like this is one of those things where it's like in a gray area. So okay, next one here we have Daniel, who says, market order in the arena shop. Interesting. Put market orders in the arena shop. I'm going to be honest, I have a lot of market orders. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, this one for me is a little iffy because you get a lot of market orders, right? Like if you are smart with your market orders on how you spend them, right, you can stockpile a lot, right? And usually, if you're just fishing for specific immortals, right, in the beginning, which really this is kind of more of like a late game challenge if you want to go off of it like that. Like as an example, on my main account right now, I really only need Empress Wu, that's a purple, and then a few green gem immortal shards that'll pop up in market. But for the most part, right, whenever I'm not specifically looking for green gem immortals, I'm trying to use the least amount of pools to kind of bide my time until the next dice event comes up, where then it really, there's a lot more value there for me to do that, to spend my green gem. So more often than not, I'm just doing my free pools in hopes that I'll just have an Empress Wu pop up. But over time, you're going to end up using your market scrolls a lot later in the game more often, and you really, I don't know, in my opinion, should be early on. So I don't really know how I feel about, like, I don't see it necessarily as a bad thing, right? If you're going to use your arena coins to buy more market orders. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest. This one I'm a little 50-50 on because personally I already think you get a lot of market orders in my opinion. So I don't know how I feel about adding more of the item in stock just because I've never really ran into kind of the challenge myself. I mean, even when I was just pure free to play in the beginning, I always noticed I had a bunch of market orders. So I'm not sure. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on this one. Next one, Ray here says, give honor to defender for kills made by traps. Interesting. Okay, give honor to defender for kills made by traps. I'm going to be honest. I don't actually think that is bad. However, I got to think about this from a few different angles because if you're doing it where you can still gain honor for kills made by traps, that it actually gives alt accounts a lot easier of a time, right, boosting. In addition, it would actually help your main accounts boost up in honor, probably a substantial, if not a decent amount as well, right? Because you wouldn't need. Well, I mean, to be fair, the thing is, if you're gonna boost honor, right? Even if you're changing, usually you would be fighting on a relocation site, or you'd be fighting, even more ideally, probably on an RSS tile. And this way, you don't take any prosperity loss on your city. It allows for you to kind of maximize the honor gains that you're getting from that. However, if you're looking to get honor, I mean, don't get me wrong, if you're not doing it in an organized way, and let's just say you're kind of taking this scenario and you're in KVK, and you go up against someone who maybe just tests out to see who you have garrison, so they send like a weak march, but your fortifications beat the weak march, or even in the home server, if a smaller player tries to attack you, will you get some honor from that? I'm not sure. I guess I don't initially see it as a bad thing, because if you're just dying by traps. Yeah, I mean the other thing is that you can make a bunch of farms, right? So here's another idea: you can make a bunch of farms on that, and you could have like 6, 9, 12 farms, and all you do is just keep sending your marches at your main, right? And that way your main never has to expunge any AP, right? I mean, you can also do it where you fight over the RSS tile, but then it kind of becomes, would you get more honor from sending a march that is just weak enough to die by the fortifications? And would you get more honor from that than if you sent your march from a farm or an alt to go and attack an RSS tile where your main's march is on? Right, so I'm trying to think about it like from that perspective. I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't inherently see it as a bad thing. I think I would just really kind of want to play out the scenarios a few more times before potentially putting that into effect. So this for me would probably be a hold until can maybe get some more thoughts and opinions on it. Okay, now let's go to Silent Slice says change battles with multiple marches to a single battle. Players that would join. Okay, I think this is more of like the rally thing. Players that join will add their troops as rally leader to a single battle. Yeah, I think it's more of, and we've talked about this before, I think a better approach really is just adding another option. So that way, if you're going to do a rally, you can kind of choose, like, do I want the shotgun rally, which is pretty standard for what a lot of us Kingdom Builder players are used to, or do you want, like, the machine gun rally, right, which is kind of how it is now. Then we get to McAllison says, allow players to see how long other research takes while another research is ongoing, helping players plan ahead. I think this is a no-brainer, right? Because when you go into your research for your city, and if you're already researching something, you can click on another research, but it won't tell you any details. So I do think this should be a healthy addition. This is very similar to basically what they did with the Trove, right? For you being able to go in there and click on another dragon chest and then not start it, but unlock it with a key, right? Where you didn't used to be able to do that. So Kevin here says, if you decide to increase castle levels, give more speed ups on events and daily basis. So so far my thoughts on this is I do somewhat agree. I do think that there has to be some level of balancing, whether that's adding more growth missions, if it's adding more speed ups to events, maybe increasing gathering speed possibly on some of the tiles. I mean, again, the challenge is that we just don't know enough yet because, again, 1.8, it's not like it's been out for a couple months where we've kind of seen what average trending paces are for certain types of players to see what really makes sense and what doesn't. I mean, even what I can tell you, though, is I myself, even though I had enough speed ups to kind of immediately boost to 41, going from 41 to 42 is taking a while, and I can only imagine how long it's going to take from 43 to 44, and then eventually 60 once that's released in Conquest. So my initial view here on what Kevin is saying is I think I lean a little bit more in favor of that. But for the most part, right, what I will say is I'd love for the suggestions to be a little bit more thought out, right? Sometimes when you're just giving these one-liners, it's not really painting the full picture and kind of telling the full story and more so providing the devs, the most important piece of feedback that they need, which is something that's just well thought out, right, and structured for that reason. But again, I will at least vote up on these. So let's see here. I don't know if I voted on these ones. I mean, I guess it's not the end of the world. Market orders in arena shops. I don't know. I'm iffy on this one, so I'm not gonna vote there. Market orders, I'm still iffy on that too, so I'm not gonna vote there. Okay, let's go Alpha 01. The time you spend in energy nodes gathering during COR should count as contribution points. I actually agree there 100%. That's something I would even love to see them have a stat for, right, in COR. Given the amount of losses for attacking the new 41 to 50 level gnomes and the new gear being harder to get more valuable, can the gear upgrade gems you get when dismantling be increased in line with its value? It only dismantles at the same rate as the previous epic gear and is a lot more costly to upgrade, maybe 1,500 to 2,000 a piece. You know what? I actually agree there. I think, but I want to point out, this is what I would consider to be a well thought out, right? At least more of a thought out suggestion where it gives you the challenge. It gives you some information on why it is challenging, and then it offers a solution, right, by giving you, hey, here's one way it could be done. So again, that's what I consider to be a well thought out idea. Klago says, little change, but there can be an option when you are turning RSS to gold and you want to cancel it, you get the gold it has already turned. Let me see, a little change. Where you are turning RSS to gold and you want to cancel it, you get the gold it has already turned. Interesting. I don't know. I feel two ways on this, right? Because one way I feel like if you're going to start something, you need to let it finish, right? So that way you're getting you're getting something out of the time and the resources that you're putting into it. If you cancel it, I mean, if that's the case, it's almost like saying, well, why did you prep it for that long? Why not just prep it for the amount of time that you think you're going to need the gold for, right? So I think this is more of a tactical, you just need to think ahead challenge, rather than it is, asking for a kind of a, kind of like a handout, right? Kind of almost like, because something came up and you made a decision, you want to now kind of go back on that decision, but you still want to be compensated for it. So I think because of that, I'm actually going to vote down here. Add in more dragon abilities levels, as now everything got higher. I think the dragon abilities should be increased to level 12. So as far as increasing dragon levels, don't get me wrong, it makes sense for them to maybe eventually do that, just given what they've already done. But I think the more things that they keep increasing the levels on at this point is just going to be that much more detrimental and damaging. So for that reason, I'm actually going to vote down here. Ability to set the team preset ability to set the team preset troop formation without recalling the marches, able to activate if the march that has not returned is the exact same in both active and to be activated formation. I feel like I kind of get what they're saying, but I just feel like this is so poor. I don't want to say poorly, but just the wording here can be improved. To set the team preset troop formation without recalling. I understand this part, right? Like, I don't think this is a challenge to set. Well, now that I think about it, I mean, ideally you need to be back in your base before you can actually set. So I'm not sure what they're getting at here. You know what I'm going to say? Medea, please rewrite with some more information so we can have a little bit better idea on kind of where they're going. Kiwi says, okay, hear me out. Add a bio you can edit. When someone clicks on your icon, they can see something you wrote about yourself. Okay. Bio. So this is the thing. I actually am a fan of profile bios because it also gives you an opportunity to promote, let's say you have a social media, let's say you have, some kind of a content channel, let's say you just want to throw your Discord in there, right? So people can add you. I'm actually a fan of this if it's done in the right way. Hold Up says preset for each immortal skill, easier to change between boss gnome, arena, spider setup. Yeah, I mean, this is something we've been asking for a while. I'm actually really in favor of that. Medea says, can we have more dragon emojis, maybe animated ones too? They're so cute. Yeah, I'll vote that. Okay, so we have Surfalis says, give officers an alliance official post. So recruitment officer, advice officer. I mean, basically they're just asking for more bonuses. I just don't know if I'm a fan of that right now. I see where you're going with it. I just don't know if that's appropriate right at this moment. I don't know who this person is. I'll just say Angel Girl. Have a prompt when you're spending gems to open dragon chest. I've accidentally spent so much on this since, yeah. I'm a fan of this kind of like an are you sure thing. Okay, cool. So while we've gone through everything, now let's go through the closed voting channels. So let's see what's gone forward. So on 116, create skills on immortal presets and pages. Okay, this got 100 to 1 votes. That's been forwarded. Okay, I'm a fan of that. Please give us the option to skip the tutorial when the game opens, a new account, including all the directions on what. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I hope this does not go through. Right, I personally do not believe people should be able to skip the tutorials, only because if you do, it will, one, make it so much easier for everyone to create, potential alt accounts in servers, because you can, well, I don't know if I should say, well, technically yes, it will be easier, but you'll still have to go through the same process. And I think the fact is that if people are going to put the time in, like myself, and I know there's others too as well that have a lot of accounts, we know how long it takes to make those. So personally, I don't think they should give you an option to skip the tutorial. I don't actually think the tutorial is that long in and of itself. So my recommendation is I actually hope this doesn't get voted for or doesn't get implemented. I understand the reason why people are upvoting it, but to be honest, the tutorial is just not that long, right? At least the automated portion. Lukey says, need a big splash screen for the winners of Throne of Supreme. You have a better screen for getting last hit on Spider than winning Thrones. The screen just say looking for new battle. Need to show the winner's name. Okay, I think I probably would be in favor of this. So I actually like this submission. A new minigame idea. Pick 4 mortals and equip 3 Tower of Knowledge skills in each of them. Goal is to deal damage to a beast dummy for the highest damage score. Could be played during server downtime. So what I will say here is I actually like this idea. I would take this a step further and say that it would be really cool if you do this, but can kind of treat it like Titan Tula, or even if you do like a mini game, and maybe you can do like a solo option, then do like a co-op option specifically for like rallying. I actually think this could be a cool idea, where you kind of, it's almost like they're expanding on Well of Time, right? Like they're kind of giving you gnome boss or boss challenges where you have to try and equip certain talk skills that are kind of like that are focusing on certain synergies in order to take down the boss. Right, I actually kind of like this. Let me see. Ranthor said this was submitted. Oh wow. Consider altering the honor reward system. Reduce the penalty of honor reduction points weekly. Honor should be rewarded based on power discrepancy instead of general troop elimination. Potential examples of rewards. If 150,000 March takes on 80,000 March, it should be 150 divided by 80, where 1.87 is the multiplier for the weaker team, and 0.53 is for the stronger team in terms of rewards. This would certainly help when it comes to events where honor is a reward. As it stands today, today people abuse the system and just honor farm using scrub accounts that are either given to them or sold to them and create a ranking bias that just skews rankings. It also, in theory, would help lower powered marches out in terms of building up their honor. I think initially, I think initially I like this, just because I think the multiplier example that Randolph Thor is giving here does make sense. As far as if this differs from the current system, we don't know because I don't believe that they've ever said how it is exactly multiplied and factored, but this could be something that I think is a good thing. I do think it would help lower power players with getting their honor rank up. I also think that if you're doing that, it may help the higher powered players that might be using farms possibly get less honor because of the multiplier. But again, I think it just depends on how is the system currently set up. Is the system exactly this? Is it close to this? Is the system not this at all? If so, and really the main takeaways is, how do we balance out the honor that's gained from higher power players to lower powered players, right? I think first and foremost that would be great to find out, to see exactly if a suggestion like this, right, which really it seems like just kind of tackling the issue of lower powered players being able to kind of boost their mains or even boost themselves high up on the honor leaderboards for certain events, right? That kind of takes that fun, or potentially, right, how some of the stronger players might view that. So if this is something to try and curve or combat that, then I think that is something worth looking into. If it's something, if the current system is not already set up in that exact way or close enough to that way, right, where it would closely embody this formula. Okay, guys, I think with that being said, that is where I'm going to end. I'm already at about 23 minutes here. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of late night video as we take a look through submissions. And again, I am IK's unofficial / official filter / oversight committee self-appointed representative for suggestions that are being submitted to IK. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, let me know what you guys think in those comments down below, right? Whether you agree or disagree with my opinions, how you feel about some of the submissions, some of the ones that have been approved for closed voting to be sent to the dev team. Right, I'd love to hear anything and everything there in the comments down below. And that's it for me. Until next time, we'll catch y'all later.